Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
That's right, America. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
And this is the lost art of common sense. This week we're doing a little social experiment. Well, I don't know if it's an experiment. Obviously, we can't conduct an experiment. We're just kind of, it's more of a social thought, I guess, kind of hypotenuse. There it is. Thought experiment. Hypotenuse of what would happen if each side of the political aisle was in complete control of the country. Not just like there are no more Republicans. It's only Democrats running the country and only Democrat people in the country. And the opposite, if only Republicans controlled the country and only Republicans lived in the country. So, and we're going to kind of discuss how the country will look or begin to differ from each other. What we're doing is from this day forward, I believe we agreed upon. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
and
from this day forward, yeah, only the U.S. The rest of the world is completely the same. So only the U.S. has changed from this day forward. Somebody, maybe they were raptured. Maybe they went to hell. I don't know. Maybe they just shit themselves and exploded. I don't know how things work. We didn't get into that far of the experiment. So, Josh, so if tomorrow the country changed one side for each side, you know, there's no more Democrats, no more Republicans, blah, blah, blah. How do you think it would start to differ? And where would you think it would be? Like, how long would it take to actually bring about significant change, I guess?
I guess I'll do the Democrats first because since they're already in charge of you get a pretty good sense of. See, now I don't know because the Democrats, now this is just opinion and it's a thought experiment, but they seem to be the party that's on the side of the globalization movement, one world government, all that stuff. So I think on the Democrat side, things would move pretty quick, like everything that Biden and Pelosi and Schumer and all these other jerk off far left representatives have been saying. I think that would go into effect. Like you would see rapid. I would say within the first year, they would probably pass some pretty staunch legislation banning stuff and adopting the AOC's Green New Deal or whatever else she called it. I don't know about the Republicans because even when they're in power, they really don't do anything. So, like, right away, it would be hard to tell.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
Like, it would be, I don't know. Like, there's no precedent because even when they're in power, they don't do anything. So it's like, well, and I would be totally fine with repealing the shit that's happened in the last 2 years and then doing absolutely nothing.
So you don't think there'll be much change at all? You think it's just going to be
not at first?
I
think down the road we would probably go to a more actual constitutional republic. So
yeah, more of more of just following the Constitution and
yeah, I think there would be a rollback of the progressive movement on stuff. Like I think a lot of that stuff would go away.
Yeah, I think for the Republican side, I think a lot of the regulations will be taken down from, you know, all the over-regulations of oil and coal and even, I think, nuclear probably. I don't know if it's going to, like you said, I don't think anything's going to happen for either party at first. I think the Democrats will move a lot faster, though. I think once Democrats find out they have no opposition, I think spending will be crazy, to say the least. Because I do feel like they're going to overregulate and they're going to try to spend, I don't know, the most money ever in all the worlds all of them, the universe. I think they'll try to implement their Green New Deal, and which was what, $30 trillion, 30 to 40 trillion, yeah. So I think they'll try to implement that stuff. Uh, so I mean, I don't know who their labor force will be, but you know, but
What are you talking about? They got the unions.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, okay. Well, it won't be fast moving then. It will.
It'll
Sorry
just be
to our union people.
quality, slow work.
Exactly. So I think yeah, the Republicans. I don't think they'll do anything immediately. I don't think there'll be any change to the country. I think at first it'll just be some deregulations,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to
and
tell because you've never seen them not have to worry about doing stuff. It seems like Republicans don't like being, at least rhinos, like the old school Republicans don't seem like they like to be the party in the majority. So it's hard to tell. It's like, would they, I don't know, abolish ATF? Better. Yeah, better.
now, well, yeah. I mean, so okay. Let's do it this way. Do you think the like even if it's a one party system, do you think it'll gradually become a two party system for each side, or do you think they'll meld and still be a one party system like Republicans? So you got your MAGA Republicans and your Rhino Republicans. So there'll be, let's say, moderate to left Republicans and your, your progressive Democrats and your moderate Democrats, your mansions and cinemas. You think they'll kind of split and form their own parties? Do you think? I mean, because I think most of the Democrats in Washington are becoming more progressive, while the country is still staying more moderate
It's
in
getting
terms of
drugged along, kicking and screaming.
yes. So do you think there will be a split in each party?
Well, I don't know if there'd be, because we never really said what would happen. I guess the independents would just stay. Like they're just stuck with
Yeah, they're just stuck no matter with whoever.
I don't
I don't
know.
know
I mean,
what's the
here's the
percentage.
thing: if the Republic, like if these people get raptured or disappeared or whatever, based on what they actually think and their actions, and not the letter next to their name, I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of Republicans missing too.
Yeah, probably.
I would definitely think that you would see a split on the Democrat side more or faster than you would the Republican side because there's a lot of people that vote Democrat that I guarantee you, and I would say probably a good number of them that just vote for Democrat because that's what they've always done. That if you had them in complete unfettered power to where they could do whatever the hell they wanted, there would probably be a split pretty quick. Republicans, I don't know because it seems like most Republicans aren't very intrusive. Like when it gets like I'm going to get into your life and tell you how to live and tell you what to do. So they might not care enough to start another party. I mean, I don't know. They might.
Yeah, I think for sure the Democrats would. I think the progressives will go even farther left, and I think there'll be some resistance to that. Even if you even value like even like our moderate Democrats. Like I think most of the country is probably moderate Democrats, and they just there's certain issues. I think the Democratic Party right now is the party of people who don't want to think about politics, and they just see certain issues. They're like, hey, yeah, because there's certain issues that they're going to win on. A lot of the social issues, like they're going to win on because people think, they want to help people, and that's what they think. And Democrats are great at convincing people that they're helping people when they're actually not. So I think a lot of people are Democrats because they're lazy. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, well, like that little Twitter spat you got in with that one dude. I think a lot of Democrats just read headlines and don't actually know what the fuck's going on. That's why if you can actually get into an in-depth debate, at least with a far left Democrat, like I've had uh, conversations with moderate uh, people that you can tell lean left that we have conversations and we agree and disagree on certain stuff. But like the people that have definitely drank the Kool-Aid, there's you can't if you can actually, and I've gotten in conversations with them, they get heated every now and again. but they eventually fall apart because there's nothing to back up what the hell they're saying. It's all fueled on either emotion or this should be what it is because they somehow think that it's morally right. And generally it's the easier thing to do. Like it's easier to like take someone off the street and put them in government housing and control them that way than to get this person off of drugs, or if they have mental issues, get that addressed and then get them ready to succeed on their own. Like it's easier just like, no, we'll just take care of you this way as long as you vote for us, rather than helping them back onto their feet so that they can take care of themselves. So yeah, I don't know. It's a thing.
Yeah, I think on the Republican side, I don't know what a true Republican conservative is anymore. Because it doesn't seem like any government person really wants, that has true conservative values. They don't want small government. Spending is still out of control, regardless of what party is. Just like at Trump's last year. Um, so I don't know what a true conservative would look like in Washington. I don't know if a true conservative would win in Washington. Um, I just because we're still going to have the same companies. Maybe most of them, some of these woke companies won't be there.
Won't have any
But
board members.
yeah, so I think at least I don't. So I don't know if any company would back a true conservative because a lot of these companies um, deal with subsidies and
Well, that
bailouts
would
and
change though, I think, under a completely. Now it's kind of weird though because like back in the day, Republicans were kind of the big business party. Like they uh they seem to be that way, but into the way the Republican Party and the Nationalist Party, otherly known as MAGA, is going now, those subsidies would come to an end. Like they they would you'd have to make it on your own, and that's what people don't get about like this isn't real capitalism. Like no, it's not. When the government bails out corporations, that's not real capitalism. Like,
yeah, the worst was when they bailed out all those fucking banks. I mean,
yeah,
I get it. It was
stupid amounts of money.
yeah, and I mean they've bailed out. Ooh, banks, credit card companies have been bailed out.
Yeah, there's supposedly like I think it happened. They do it during like now this might be conspiratorial, even though I think there is actual documentation on it. But like during things where like the country's attention super focused on things like 9/11 or wars or something like that, that's when the government goes in and does these bailouts, and it's like trillions of dollars. Like there is way more money spent than we know about.
Oh,
There could be
absolutely.
a conspiracy theory, but I don't think that it is. I think that there's actual documentation on it.
I think if you're a large corporation, you fuck up so bad, and it's not the government's fault, you should not get bailed out. Um, the only bailout that I agreed with, I don't know if it was really subsidies wise, is maybe farmers because we need food.
Yeah.
So, but I can do without banks, and I can do without credit cards, and I can do without flying. I mean, if there's only one or two, whatever, I can do without, bailing out all these freaking companies. And I think as a conservative, I don't think the government should really be doing anything with these companies.
No,
I
they
think it's
shouldn't. I mean,
because what it does is forces these companies to bow down to the government
I think
for
it's the other
their,
way around, actually. But it's a back and forth.
I don't know.
Quid pro quo.
You don't think like these woke companies are actually doing it so they can get money from the government?
Oh yeah, they
You
are.
think you think Disney wants to lose fucking all this money?
I
I
just
mean,
thought
they've
they
lost
enjoyed
like
making.
trillions of dollars or
Yeah,
billions
they
of
have.
dollars. You think they're really doing it because that's making money for them? It's
Well,
not.
none of it's making money for them. It just all has to do with that they're betting on this great reset social score system to kick in. They're putting all their chips on that.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna hit a lot of companies in the face. I think that's people want to soon find out that's not what the middle America or the middle 80% of America really want. Moderate Democrats to conservatives. I mean, this is gonna bite them in the ass pretty hard. I think in the end, or our country is ruined and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty close to that. That's for sure.
Oh, I know.
Did you listen to Crowder's Ash Wednesday today?
Mm-mm.
He had an exclusive interview with Alex
Jones.
But he was saying too, and it's I don't know, he sounded pretty accurate, but like most Democrats, as far as like Democratic voters, like the standard Joe Blow, really are just either checked out or manipulated into believing what they believe in, or they're just not paying attention. But the middle to upper echelon of the Democratic Party, they all know what they're doing. They know that they're ruining the country. They don't give a shit what it does. They're just after power and to take over. And basically what he says is going to happen is the country is going to end up waking up. And that part of the Democrat Party is going, if we were to save the country, that part of the Democrat Party, all the elites are just going to get exiled, done. And basically that part of the Democrat Party is over. And then there'll be a split in the new Republican Party that pretty much catches everyone who's not a crazy far left radical. And that'll probably end up splitting to a new Democrat Party.
Kind of like the Tea Party.
Yeah, because I don't know how you can bring the Democrat Party back. I mean, I guess you can if you cleaned house. Like, I don't know how you get this radical element out of the Democrat
Party. I don't
Party.
understand why. How much? Like, it was like 6 radicals, right? It was like the Squad or whatever the hell it was. I don't know how they put so much influence onto the rest of the Democratic Party to where they're all radicals now. I don't understand where they think they're getting their votes with these anti-parent shit, this transgender, this drag queen story hour, these allowing transgender people to play sports with their daughters. I don't get where that increases your voting base.
I don't know, but they definitely, I think Donald Trump scared them. They see the movement and the upswell in populism and nationalism, and that's why it's just.
So they just went completely crazy the other way?
Yeah, it's either go all in or go home, and they're having to go all in. And I don't know, if they make it through it, then I guess we're all screwed, or we're all going to be put in jail. I mean, if Mr. My Pillow isn't safe from the FBI, how are we, Kevin?
Oh, we're not. I assume that if we had if we were even semi-popular.
If we had 10 more followers, we'd be.
That's right. So if you want to see us in shackles, remember to like, subscribe, and share.
Comment below.
Comment, please. So please do hit the like button on our videos if you watch them. It helps the algorithm and helps us become more popular so we can go to jail.
It'd be cool watching on Rumble. We're not even advertising or sharing anything off of YouTube anymore. Still posting there.
Yeah, we're still posting on YouTube. So if you're a YouTube loyalist, you can still watch us there sometimes.
It's weird.
Except for one video.
Yeah, the one video which is like, we're done with YouTube.
Just we said the monkeypox video. So do you want to know about monkeypox? What little we talked about it. Watch our monkeypox video on an exclusive Rumble video. Exclusive because YouTube kicked it out. So
jerks.
COVID misinformation. I don't want to try to post that, being they changed their COVID policy, but
no, everything. It is not misinformation. It's everything we said after I reviewed the video is everything that you're not supposed to say on YouTube. We pretty well checked all the boxes.
Way to go, us! Cheers!
I was like, if you're looking at through a far left pansy's eyes, yeah, this is probably pretty bad.
God, I didn't even think we did that bad on it. I thought we did. I thought we kept it kind of
No, but if you
Kind of
go back and
civil.
watch it
I
through
did.
that lens, you're like, yeah, I get it. I'm not even
Yeah,
going
no,
to
I
dispute
get it.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
After I watch
Well,
it, I'm like, I'm not disputing this. Yeah, you were
so
right. We did not meet your stupid community standards for
yeah, I'm glad I didn't. Fuck,
them pushing false information.
well,
Like, whatever
fuck them.
happens with that?
I don't know.
Like,
Let's
all
just put a
these links that
sticker on
said
there.
this was about COVID, like whether it be about masks or the vaccine.
I wish we would
Down
have
the
got
road, if
fact checked.
information comes out and they're wrong, are they going to remove all the videos that they thought were okay? I mean, I don't know.
No,
That'll be interesting to see how the social media. Now, obviously, it would get way worse on the
I don't think
Democrat
there will be
side.
social media. Like 90% of social media employees are
Well,
Democrats.
no, I'm saying on the Democrat side, I guess it wouldn't get worse. It would
I
just
mean,
be
other than
like,
Truth Social, I mean, I don't think there's another Democrat rant or Republican rant or even a moderately ran social media company.
yeah, like there wouldn't be any need for restrictions or community standards because everybody would be living in
Pretty,
the Washington bubble.
yeah. So
But I think eventually, because this you might cover this later on, so I might wait. Um, but like, there's a path that each one would go down, and one is going to lead to a revolt. So
yes. So let's go to the next question. Would you either stay a republic?
I think the Republicans would,
It's in the
and the
name.
Democrats would most definitely not.
What do you think would happen to the Democrats?
Well, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they actually rewrote the Constitution, because if you're all Democrats, you can
Do whatever you want.
easily
Yeah.
amend, change, totally get rid of the Constitution. And well, you hear at least all the people talking loud enough seem to get in their way. They would have end up eventually becoming a socialist country, which we all know that ends up uh, leading to communism. And even there's a lot of productive, hardworking Democrats out there that would at some point get pissed off that all their hard work is for nothing, and you can't ever get ahead. There is a episode of the Sean Ryan Show. Don't know if you ever heard of him. He's an ex-Navy SEAL and CIA contractor. But he does a lot of long-form interviews with ex-SEALs and stuff like that. Well, he had this, I can't remember her name. She's running for Congress, I think. Chinese lady. Chinese, are they called dissident when they leave,
Yes.
or defector?
Yeah, I think it's dissident or defect. I don't know. It starts
You
with a
want to
D.
listen to you want to hear some jacked up shit, watch that interview and listen to what she says about how her childhood was and how things were in China, because she kind of like grew up through the Mao Revolution and shit, and it's
A little bit
sad.
like this.
Well, yeah, she does point out a lot of similarities, but like the stuff she was talking about was just like she started crying a couple times, but
It was
like
pretty that bad. It was
everyone
that
thinks
bad.
they know everything, but like this person literally lived it and listened to what and oh, then she comes to America, becomes a U.S. citizen, runs for Congress, and guess what side of the aisle she's running on?
Well, I'm guessing she doesn't have a big D on her in front of her name.
She doesn't have a big D in front of her, no,
Yes.
in front of her name, behind her name.
Yeah.
She doesn't
So
have a
I
big
mean,
D behind her.
isn't that weird? Is it in front or behind when they usually do it? Bunch of big D's running around.
I think it's on the back end.
Probably a couple small D's in there, but um, dick jokes. All right. So isn't it weird though that like all these people coming from these communist countries are always Republican? I mean, I, it's just so weird, except for like Ilhan Omar, who, you know, it's
She's
not.
about power.
Yeah, well, I mean, she slept with her half brother, so
Was it her half
supposedly,
brother or whole brother?
I don't know, but she
I know
slept.
she married her brother. That is an undeniable fact. She married her
Yeah,
brother.
there's a marriage certificate and everything.
That's
So
called immigration fraud.
yeah, well,
That's
it
why
wouldn't be
she
the
did it.
first. It wouldn't be the first fraud she committed.
But yeah, I don't know what her deal is, but some people like every. I'm not saying she's a bad person, even though I think she's horrible. But like, there's bad people in every country, so
Yeah, maybe she's just one of the bad people in her country, and now our country. So, but I mean, it's just weird that most of these people come from like there's that Czechoslovakian woman that in Congress. Is it Czech or was she
yeah, I think
Ukrainian?
she's either that or
And
Russian or something.
yeah, she's a Republican.
Eastern European.
Yes. Well, she came from a dictator or from a communist country at the time. She came from the USSR, I think. So she also said there's a lot of similarities of how things are going.
Well, they don't
So
ever cover them, but all these people are like screaming their brains out about warning about what's going on. You just don't get any coverage.
oh, I know. So it's just weird. So yeah, I believe that the Democrats will eventually become communist.
Yeah, that's why I think that would.
Well, it'll go through the natural transition of republic to socialism to a socialist country, which will tank. Then communism will take over.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
it's a natural progression.
If we're wrong, leave down in the comments how we're wrong. How, with the way things are going, with the Democrats in charge, and if then there was no opposition, how they would go any other route than socialism than communism.
Yes. So, I mean, I just want to let you know, fascists demand not to have opposition. So, like pack Supreme Court, take out the filibuster, and work around ways to just hand out hundreds of billions of dollars to buy votes. Work around ways to all kind. You just try not to follow the constitutional law. You find ways to work around it, and that's how you do it. That's kind of a fascist shit that we're talking about.
Well, and on the Republican side, they would have to make sure that the economy's moving because under the Republican side, you're not. I think eventually you're not going to have it's going to be harder to not be a productive member of society.
I believe so. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm all.
I don't think there will be. I think welfare will be gone. Unless
I don't think it should be gone. I think it should be like.
I think more controlled. I think there will be like drug testing and.
Yeah.
You have to actively look for a job if you're capable. I think disabled. If you're actually disabled, obviously you should get disability payments and stuff like that. But I think you're right. I think for the most part, people will be working and have to work. So it's.
Well, I told you about that meme that my so-called friend that he's not my so-called friend, but my friend who's a so-called independent, which he's obviously far left. But shared a meme. It said, and it was from a writer. I think it was a writer, either that or a professor, maybe a disc jockey. I don't know. Whatever. It was a person.
A disc jockey. That's right, everybody.
He was
welcome to Cool FM.
It's harder to be on the left or a Democrat than a Republican because it's harder to help someone than to give them the finger. Because everybody thinks that Republicans are these uncaring assholes, and that's not true. I have no problem whatsoever helping someone down on their luck get their life back together. We do need to, and I think it's done on purpose, and I think I probably said it before, but we do need to what do you call that? Reform the welfare in these programs to where you have to get on them. You were going to get on them. Or, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people don't like it, but if you're an able-bodied person and you're just not working, you shouldn't be able to vote, period. If you're flat out not contributing to society, why in the fuck should you have a say in it? But the programs are set up to where if you do get a job and you do start trying to dig yourself out, there's this gap where you start making money and they cut the legs out from under you where you can't make the transition. And that needs to be a gradual transition off so that people can okay, you start making this much money, offset your benefits by that, boom, boom, boom. And you have to be off in 2-3 years or something. If you're not off in 2 or 3 years, you're going to live where we tell you to live. You're going to eat what we tell you to eat, and you're not going to be able to vote until you're back on your feet for 2 years.
I feel if you make less than $30,000, you should not pay federal income tax.
I would agree with that.
I think that'd be the best way to help anybody. I think you should, if you're able to work, you work.
I don't think you should pay any federal income tax. You know, the federal
Exactly.
income tax is supposed to be temporary.
Yeah, like every other way the government gets money, it just doesn't happen.
Well, they used to just get monies off of tariffs and shit.
Yeah, well, that'd be awesome. And again, I am a big proponent of the flat tax.
Or
And
no
that should be the
tax.
only way, or no tax would be. Yeah. So I think the government should only spend on military and maybe a few social programs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some lazy Republicans out there, but I just know that, like, you know, we're making the Democrats sound pretty bad because obviously we're right leaning. But like I said, if we're wrong, tell us below. But if you're not willing to carry your own weight, life is not going to be easy under the Republican side either.
No, absolutely not. I think there's a chance that we will have more homeless people on the Republican side than the Democratic side to start with. Because maybe not to start with, but let's say 5 years down the road.
Yeah, it depends on who's in charge. Because I already want us to implement something to get all these homeless people, stop enabling drug addiction, homelessness, and just like they need help.
There's
like,
a lot of jobs out there, and I think there should be some kind of like a help to work program. Maybe put them in a shelter, but they had to be out working, 4 hours a day or whatever, something like that. Maybe have like shelters with work programs in them. Be it make license plates or whatever for a wage and a place to live.
Missouri paid for people. I don't know if it was just asbestos training, but Missouri paid for people to get their asbestos worker licenses when their unemployment numbers were high.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah, anything to help.
You're investing in the person.
Yes, and I think people, if they get I think a lot of people get down on their luck. They lose their job, whatever, and then they turn to drugs, alcohol, stuff like that, and they just don't know how to get out of it. But if a program is there to where somebody can push them into it, let's say an AA plus a work kind of a thing, like, hey, we'll find you a job, or we believe in you, we'll help you get back on your feet. We'll kind of take care of you, but you have to pay us rent and stuff like that. I think most people want that. They want to have, everybody wants to have a little self-worth in their life. You got to feel good about yourself. And if you're just sucking the government's teeth the whole time, you're not really feeling good about yourself. I don't even like borrowing money from anybody, let alone the government. I mean, if they just want to send me a check, I'm going to take it, but at least I work and I know I'm going to pay back into it anyways. But I'm not going to turn down a check, but
Now, if you're dumb enough to hand out that money, I'm stupid enough to take it and spend it on shiny things with buttons.
Exactly. But I think, everybody wants to feel a little self-worth. So if, I think that'd be the main thing that the Republican side could do. But I don't know. Do you think, at the beginning, I think there'll be less homelessness on the Democrat side, but
I feel like it's kind of hard to tell because, see, and that's kind of we kind of have, you don't really have, that I know of, many big population centers that are ran by Republicans, but we have a pretty good idea of how things would go just based on California
to Florida.
I think there would be a shit ton of fucking homeless.
I don't know. Truth. Yeah, maybe. Well, I guess social programs.
Drug tents everywhere. Get your crack pipes and needles here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just don't know because I think at first the Democrats are willing to help or wanting to help, or I don't know. I think the Republican Party is more of the worker party, and the Democrat Party is more of the
It is now. I don't know when that switched, but I'd say most Republicans are way more blue collar now than they used to be. And I don't even know if the only real reason why Democrats was considered the working man's party is because they had the unions.
They still got a lot of the unions.
Well, yeah, but like, how many union members are like
I think they got the union
actually
support.
Democrats?
I think they have union support, but they don't have the union workers anymore.
That's the thing that would tick me off, though. Like, you're paying all your union dues, and they're taking this money and giving it away to people that are. I mean, I don't know about, like, yeah, the teachers unions and stuff, because there's a lot of federal money in that. But like, if you're a union contractor, welder, pipe fitter, they're fucking with your livelihood, and then you pay your dues. And I don't know how the pipe fitters unions and those guys, how they, if they say to vote or whatever, or where their money's going, but a lot of union money goes to Democrats. I'd be kind of pissed off that my dues are going to help get someone elected that is not helping me get more work.
So do you think? I think. So do you think like they'll act the same? Do you think they'll keep these social policies, or do you think they'll enact more to make more people more, you know, needing them?
Well, I think they will generally keep going it up there, and it'll be a constant progression. And then at some point, the rubber meets the road. That's why, like, when a communist regime takes over, they'll even jail and execute their own supporters and aren't in the social class that they're supposed to be in. So at some point, they're going to be like, all right, ha, now you have a job, a government guaranteed income, because you're going to be doing this. That's the way it's going to happen.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: where do you see each side in our little social uh, experiment, thought experiment? Where do you see each side in 10 years?
And the Democrats, well, let's just try to go with what we're going now. I mean, I don't know. I would say you're probably going to have definite economic collapse. Probably some kind of restructuring of the currency. That, if it was just Democrats in power, they'd probably get rid of the U.S. cash currency and just go to a U.S. cryptocurrency so they can track everything. Just like how the credit card companies are now forming an unofficial gun registry, because now anytime you buy anything from a gun shop, your credit card company has a specific code for that purchase.
You see, the government has a new way to send money from you to another person. They got an app for that. It's supposed to be cheaper than Venmo and PayPal, but it's a good way to track you.
Yeah, and I don't know how cool Apple is about shit, but Apple's free too. So I would not use anything from the government. But yeah, I mean, I just can't see, like, I'm sure they think it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows, but I think a lot of people in 10 years would be starving to death and freezing to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because you would think, okay, the Green New Deal's going in. Who's going to be, how are you going to farm if you're out? They're going to ban fertilizer. They're going to ban fossil fuels. How are you going to farm? They're going to ban cows, ban pigs. Everyone's going to be living off of soy.
It's made of people.
Totally made of people.
It'll be those floppy bars
bar.
from the Jello bar from fucking, what were we talking?
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer. So you just kill the homeless and you make them into Jello.
Yes. On the Republican side, I would think that the country would probably be doing all right. And the other reason I say it, now, you would have to make sure that, and like I said, we're going off of the way the Republicans are now, which seem to be a lot more Republicans that seem to be more awake and paying attention to shit. So I don't think you'd have runaway monopolism. I don't know, whatever the fuck that word is. But I don't know how that would look. It depends on, because, I mean, I guess we're Republicans, but I'm more conservative libertarian. And like I was talking to you before the show, some people are talking shit, louder crowder, about libertarians, which I don't know. There probably are either some fake libertarians or there are hardcore libertarians that believe you should literally do whatever the hell you want. But his big beef is with these companies censoring people. Well, the companies are censoring people while, like, they're doing it on step and step with the U.S. government. So no, that they shouldn't be doing that. That a true libertarian would have a big problem with that too. They would be like, Oh, it's okay. It's a free marketplace, even though the government is literally colluding with these platforms to do the censorship. No, no. A true libertarian would have a problem with that, even though I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a full blooded libertarian, whatever. But I think in 10 years, I think the Republicans would probably be better off, but I'm not sure what the world would look like because a lot of Republicans are isolationists.
Yes, I believe that as well.
So who knows what would happen to the rest of the world?
So I guess I didn't put this in our notes, but I wanted to ask you this. How do you think the rest of the world would see the United States 10 years in the future? You think
I
the rest of the world would we still be the protector of the world or the
no.
police, I guess, on either side?
Well, I think under the Democrat side, you'd be probably pretty well down the road of globalization, whether or not that be under the I don't know who the hell runs like the World Economic Forum's plan is for who's running it, but it'd either be that side or China. That's what's happening. On the other side, I think it could be, and I don't know if Republicans would sit back and let China make moves, with Russia and to do that. Like they're not anti-war. They're like I'm not anti-war. I'm anti getting in a war that doesn't
Doesn't
like
benefit
our
us?
interests really aren't. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I have a problem with that. Now, if you have China moving and capturing up all these precious metal things and stuff like that, and corner
Like
market,
invading Taiwan, and Taiwan is a way more important country than Ukraine. Let me just tell you that.
yeah, it's 1,000 times more important. But that's because we don't make the shit here too. Like we can, the United States literally has more oil, more natural gas, farmland. We literally don't need anybody for shit.
I
We
think some of the
just,
precious metals are only found in that area, though, for superconductors
I don't know about that.
or super. I don't know. Are they? Is that what it is? Superconductors.
They just make a bunch of superconductors and microchips here. They're like
So
the
you don't
number.
know if the precious metals are.
I
I'm
think
sure
they're
we
the
could find it.
world's number one producer of superconductors and microchips. So I don't know about our precious metals in this country, but damn near everything else. And it's not like we couldn't just like work out deals with Mexico and stuff like that. It would be interesting. Like I don't know how things would go under Republican if they on the world stage. Like I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know
know
if it.
either.
I think shit could. I mean, it'd probably be a little wonky for a while. It depends. It's like if the Republicans went the way of isolationism, yeah. I mean, most of the I don't even know if you can really do that in today's world, but
I mean, once you
to an
got rid of
extent,
like Mitch McConnell and his ilk, and visiting Ukraine and shit. I mean, I don't know.
it'd be I don't know. It's that one's because we don't really know. I mean, if you go off of like what Trump was doing, I would say America would be pretty strong on the world stage
Do you think
and probably wouldn't allow.
the MAGA party would,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like they would take over?
If the MAGA party didn't have to worry about being arrested for being Trump supporters or Republicans, yeah, because the MAGA thing or whatever, that whole group it transcends Republican Democrat. It like that's like almost like how Reagan, like you have Reagan Democrats, like there are people from all walks of life, all wealth levels, all races, all creeds that support that. So yeah, that would 100% take over. So I don't know. It might actually be we might get some wars if somebody pushed them, but I mean, Trump threatened to bomb Moscow if Putin attacked Ukraine. So you never know what we could be in World War III because
So, who would have thought like Make America Great Again would be a terrorist organization or a fascist organization? It's just crazy to me that the people who want uh, the government to follow the Constitution and to stay out of their fucking lives are being called the greatest threat to America. Where I don't know one fascist movement or one movement to like a dictatorship that ever did not ban ever one of their citizens to have guns.
yeah, or smaller government, less control.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know
how
what.
getting.
I don't want no one fascist group that ever was like, "Hey, you guys can have the guns because you know we're going to be dictator.
Well, and that's why, like I told you about the one guy I was talking
It
to.
just doesn't make sense.
Well, that's why, and nobody knows, like, obviously, I don't know what the hell a fascist is, because the one guy I was talking to who actually, for once, kicked off the political argument, which normally I'm the one who does that, and I just do it on purpose to piss him off. But, because he's a good friend. And then, but he was like, oh, they're fascists. These are fascists, like Trump's a fascist. And even today, I was talking to a coworker who's brought that up. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I think if you actually, like, obviously, I don't know the pure definition of a fascist and fascism if I keep hearing this stuff about the right, but I do know for an undeniable fact that you can go back and compare the rise of fascism to compare what's going on now done by the Democrats, and there are quite a few similarities. So I have a hard time when people are like, no, that's fascist. They're fascist. I'm like, because we believe in free speech and we should have guns and small government and they should stay the hell of our lives. That makes us fascist.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to part 1 of A Political Rapture, the left and right multiverse. Dun, dun, dun. I'm Kevin. Josh? He's been raptured! Nah, just kidding. He's working, and I'm doing this later. So, I'm Kevin, and this was The Lost Art of Common Sense. Come sit! Come sit!